Hello, welcome to JAV Show. This is Jorge.
And this is Viv.
And I think this is filler week.
Yeah.
Week.
I know you guys love fillers.
I feel like every week's a filler week now.
We just talk about random shit.
Usually.
Yeah.
Typically.
We can have a cool one. You know how previously we did books before?
Yeah, we did books, we did research. Dude, we put so much more effort before.
Yeah. So, a mutual friend of ours, you also know her, she really sold me on reading 48 Laws of Power.
Was there some self-help book?
Yeah.
No. I don't think anyone needs to sell you on that.
Well, no, it was the way, it was already on my list, okay? But the way she told me about what it was about, I was like, all right, I'm reading it this weekend. Instantly.
It was good.
I haven't started reading it yet, though. Okay, but the reason is, okay, the way she sold it, I'm not going to give it justice and I'm not going to go into that much detail, but she started off with, okay, everyone knows the game, but you don't know the game. The people you find successful, your managers, your leaders, the people you look up to, they know the game.
Yeah.
They know the rules of the game. You don't know the rules of the game. And as long as you don't know the rules of the game, you'll always lose the game. The game is life. And the 48 Laws of Power is a book that tells you how to play the game. That's just like really quick synapse of it. But when when my friend was telling me about it, she went into so much depth that it completely sold me. I told her that, hey, if you were a marketer or a sales rep for this book, I would 100% believe it, because I've never had anyone sell me on a book and the importance of a book this well. And so I was like, okay, this weekend I'm going to read it. And so when I was looking it up, I thought, oh shit, there's also a book that is also by the same
Robert
author.
Greene?
Yes, by the same author.
Is that questionable sometimes? Like if their success is making books that have other people getting success?
Is it what?
Is it kind of like weird if someone's famous for writing books to help other people become successful?
No, why would that be weird?
Because like, how did they become successful?
Maybe it's him talking about, maybe he did research, or he's talking about ways that he,
you know what I mean? It's
like really helped him. And when people read it, they get really inspired and they really connect with the book and the philosophies that the book teaches, so they apply it to their lives even more, and they're like, oh, this fucking works, let me tell a friend, and then people tell more and more. True. I feel like this is one of those books across the world that are just, people say, oh, I'm a New York Times bestseller, but this is actually one of the top books.
Oh, I see. Never outshine the master. Don't trust friends, use enemies.
And something cool that she told me too is that this book is banned in a lot of prisons.
Okay.
Because they don't want them to essentially gain that much insight and belief in themselves. Kind of crazy, right?
Kind of.
Okay, so another thing. What?
I don't know. Like they banned Catcher in the Rye. You know what I mean? I'm like, sure, you banned a book. Okay, whatever.
Another thing is that Robert Greene also has another book called The Laws of Human Nature. And I got those at the same time. And I thought, okay, if I read The Laws of Human Nature first and then I read the 48 Laws of Power, I feel like that would make a little bit more sense, even though the books aren't really tied together. I just feel like the concepts would make more sense that way.
Yeah.
So I'm reading The Laws of Human Nature first.
Right. Okay.
Before I read this one. But this one really sold me on this whole thing. And since we're talking about the podcast and how we put so much more effort before and how this is a filler and all that stuff, after I read 48 Laws of Power, I want to come back and talk about
we can go through this picture, which
Yes.
shows allegedly the 48 Laws of
Yes.
Power. Yeah, are you going to like fully sell yourself to this book? Or are you going to like read it with a grain of salt?
I'm going to read it with a grain of salt first, because I feel like I have some pretty strong self-concepts.
Yeah.
However, when my friend was telling me about it, she is really sold on trying to apply this book on her life. And she's just really, she has found some of these concepts really valuable to her, which is what I find really intriguing.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, like Never Outshine the Master, she told a personal story that made sense as to why never outshine the master actually works in real life. And I have also found a real life scenario for me personally that made sense for never outshine the master.
What does that even mean? Never outshine the master.
It means never be more powerful than the person that's like has control over your fate, essentially.
Oh.
So the scenario that I found applicable to me is that I work very close with my boss.
Yeah.
He is literally what's it called? Not my partner, but my equal now.
Sure.
Not my equal, but like, you know, for what we do in the company, it's just like the four of us, the two owners, the general manager, and me.
Yeah.
And I remember there was a period of time when I'm very vocal with what I do and my opinions and stuff, but there was a period of time when it felt like I kept trying to highlight the importance of my work and the areas where I felt like he fell short whenever I worked on a project with him.
Yeah.
Or whenever he asked for help, I would try and guide him to do it himself. Instead of saying like, oh yes, I'll do it because you're my boss type of thing. Instead, I would be like, oh, I think like you're fully capable of doing this. Like I have other priorities here. Let me give you some resources, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And so there was a period of time when I felt like he didn't really like me very much, or he would just like take his frustrations on me.
Oh,
like verbally?
Oh.
No, like verbally, or like, you know, just give me attitude and stuff.
Oh yeah, okay.
And when it comes to this concept of never outshine the master, the part that my friend explained it to me was that your boss or your manager, your leader, your job or their job is to guide you, lead you, be like one step ahead of you.
Sure.
And as a human being, everyone has insecurities, everyone has flaws and all that stuff. But one thing that everyone dislikes is feeling stupid.
Yeah.
And so as your manager, your leader, or whatever, you shouldn't make them feel like they're stupid or that you can somehow like take their job away from them. And so if you make them feel stupid by saying things like what I would say and be like, oh, I think like you have full capabilities too, let me give you the resources, I have better things to do or have other things to prioritize my time with.
Yeah.
Or, hey, so I feel like you fell a little short with this project because I was relying on you here, blah, 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 and like you came back late or something like that. Like when you're talking to your manager, you shouldn't talk like that because then it makes them look bad.
I've never talked to my manager like that. I don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Okay, well, like feel stupid or whatever. I still got promotions and shit, so you know.
Yeah, I know, but okay, yeah, I get it.
But like it makes them feel stupid or make them feel like you're embarrassing them all that stuff. So because they are quote unquote master, it hurts you in the end because they have more say in where your growth can go. And so it would be better for you if you tried to make your master look good and your master will also help you out too in reverse.
Yeah.
So in my position, it would have been better if I somehow reworded what I said or positioned myself in a way to make my boss look better.
Yeah.
And feel better and feel like he was like really capable, really smart, all that stuff, doing a great job. And so if he felt that way and he felt like we were a team, then he would be in a better position to feel like, oh, he should promote me or give me a raise or shit like that. So this is where it says like never outshine the master.
That seems very logical. And for me, I'm not saying I'm smart. It felt kind of common sense, but I do get it because there are people out there with the ego trip that won't do that.
Like to make your boss feel like they're smart.
Yeah, yeah. Like for me, like, yeah, maybe I'll talk shit about my boss, but never in front of his face.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't talk shit in front of his face.
Yeah, but I would say that, oh, he's so dumb about this. But like in front of him and in front of our like higher ups and stuff, I'd always be like, no, yeah, he helped me with this. And this is great. He's a good leader. Shit like that. Not like a suck up, but it's just like the truth. Like, yeah, this is it. Or even if someone tried to like bait me to say shit about him, I'm like, no, I'm good. Yeah.
Of course not.
That's cool.
I think from my position, I wouldn't. If I was frustrated on our project, then I would let it be known. I'd be like, oh yeah, this is great, but I feel frustrated here because I felt like it was hard to communicate this, or I felt like it's hard to reach you here if I was on a one-on-one with my boss. And I felt like those little feedbacks, I don't know, made him upset or something.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, no, that is not as common sense because I do feel like people want to be honest, but maybe that's not the best case to do that.
I don't know. I actually feel like in some way, even though it frustrated him, in some way now, the relationship that I have with my boss, even though like it's not as inspiring, I do think that he sees me more as like an equal now in a way.
Yeah. So maybe that's a shit law for you then. Oh, so you just can't. This book's garbage.
But I can see the value in that in most cases.
In some cases, I actually wouldn't even say most cases, because sometimes like if I have a good leader, he just wants the truth.
Yeah, I feel like it's another.
Like a scenario based thing.
It's kind of similar to don't bite the hand that feeds you in a way. Never outshine your master.
Kinda. Well, yeah, okay. Like no, like obviously this Robert guy sold more books than me, so he knows way more. But I feel like it's true, but not always true. Like it's hard to call it a law because it's like it's not always true.
Yes, yeah.
Because I do feel like I've had good leaders before, and like good feedback, not like being a dick at a meeting to them, but like good one-on-one feedback, they're perfectly okay with that.
Yeah.
Right.
I guess the point of this is like when they feel like you're outshining them.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's not really outshining anymore, right? That's just feedback. That's just like talking to them, not outshining. Because that's like a private setting. Yeah, okay. That does make sense. Because yeah, when you're with other people, you don't want to do that, right? Maybe I should. Oh, actually, no. Maybe I'm not doing that enough too. Like sometimes what I do is like, this might sound shitty, but it's like my boss will be like, my manager will be like, okay, this is a decision we made on this thing, right? And then like 2 weeks later, maybe his equal or another leader or whatever asked me, he's like, oh, why did we go this route? And then I'd be like, he told me to do this. But I don't know if I shouldn't say that. Right?
Yeah.
Right? At that point, should I just be like, because like I personally genuinely didn't believe that route either. So it's like it's so hard for me to make up an excuse for that too. Because it's like,
what do you think would be the best?
I have no idea. Like at that moment, I genuinely disagreed with it, but he said, let's do it this way. I'm like, you know what? You're the leader. I'm going to do what you want. Because like at the end of the day, this is your team. And that's how I feel like it.
See, maybe I don't have enough corporate culture beat into me, but in that case, I would have been like, oh, leader, boss, person, could you advise corporate way of saying this was your fucking idea?
What do you mean?
This was your idea.
Yeah, like what I would do in the email would be like, oh yeah, you know, Mr. Manager advised me to do it this way. And that's why we went this route.
Oh yeah.
And then I would CC him in the email. That's it. But sometimes I feel like, I don't know, should I have done something different in that situation?
I can see that. I feel like there's sometimes a corporate way of being like, actually, I don't know. And I don't agree with.
Yeah, because like I can't even defend that position because I was against that position. Yeah, right.
Like, I wouldn't take the blame.
Like in the original part, I was already against that position, but I agreed to do it because I understand like my leader or manager probably has more insight. So there's probably something that he sees or knows that I just don't value. Right? Because like sometimes they'll have an excuse, or not excuse, but they'll have a reason, and I just don't agree with that reason. Like I just think it's not a good reason to go this one route instead of this other route. But he's the manager, this is his team, so at the end of the day I say like, okay, no, like we're disagreeing here, but we still have to make a decision at the end of the day. You're the manager, we'll go with what you say, right? Like that's the whole point of being a leader, right? And then when someone else starts chiming in, I'm just like, Mr. Manager told me to do it this way, and you know, I might chime in a bit more, but I'll just be like, Mr. Manager told me to do this way. Here's a little bit of pros and cons of doing it that way. And then after that, I'll just like ghost. And I just hope my manager like buds in after that.
I actually did something like this recently. Not even recently. On Wednesday.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You're like, Mr. Manager told me to do this. So I'm just going to step back and let you guys figure this out for me.
It's because for one of my projects, there's this integration that the client wanted. And I was told that it should work for, you know, their tech stack. And when I was looking into it, I was like, why the fuck is this not working? And I've been trying to talk to an SME for the last 3 fucking weeks to like learn about this before I even tried to implement it into my solution and all that shit.
Yeah.
But then I couldn't fucking reach this SME until Wednesday, which completely annoyed the shit out of me anyways. Or not, okay, actually not Wednesday, yesterday morning actually. But this integration, we couldn't fully do it because they changed some of the backend stuff and I didn't know. And because originally it would have worked before they changed it, one of my bosses told the client that, okay, this is like one of the key integrations that we're going to put into your tech stack. This is amazing. And the client was like, oh my God, yeah, like we love it. Like this is going to fix so many things.
Yeah.
And then because I've been trying to figure out why it hasn't been working and I've only been able to get in contact with the SME yesterday at 9:30.
Yeah.
They were like, oh yeah, you can't. Because this has changed this way and this way. And I was like, holy shit.
Break the bad news.
I was like, this is technically my project. But like,
I didn't say shit.
I didn't fucking say that. I didn't sell this project. I didn't sell this integration. So then I talked to my other boss, the boss that I'm like on better terms with now. I told him the whole situation. He was like, well, you know, it sucks. Sometimes things happen. The client's probably going to get mad. But, you know, you just like CC the other boss because it was his idea and just say, this is why. Like, sorry it didn't come out the way we said it, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, like on the front end, yeah, the client might be like, what the fuck, Viv? But on the back end, we know that it was the other boss's fault. And I was like, okay, well, I'm just letting you know so I don't take the fucking blame for this.
Yeah. Actually, that's cool because I think one of my managers at my other position, I guess my other role, my other job eventual, I guess, he's actually super cognizant of that, which is really good because he'll always try to consult me first before he like overpromise. Like he'll always put a caveat when he promises anything. He'll always put a caveat. He'll be like, oh, I want to check in with Alvin first because I think this is how it works. I do believe that's how it works, but he's like the expert on this, so then I'm gonna go talk to him first, and then like even in the email he'll say like that's the caveat is like after discussion with Alvin, well, I can say for sure.
That's pretty sick.
But he'll be like, I'm pretty sure this is how it works, but I want to discuss with Alvin first, and then sometimes I'm seeing an email, so then I'll just reply like, yep, that works fine, or if it doesn't work fine, I don't reply email and I'll talk to him in private, and then I'll let him like break the news to them instead of me just chiming in. But yeah, that's cool. I mean, that's some cool like corporate shit to learn. I mean, I'm very excited for you to like read this and then do a PowerPoint for me, a 48-page PowerPoint, 48-slide PowerPoint, so you can show me all the cool tricks.
For each one of these laws that I'll have, I like highly doubt it.
Yeah.
But it'd be pretty neat if I had a personal scenario that could teach me the lesson that I can compare to a law with, like how this never outshine the master law.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then it would actually seem applicable.
If you have a quick glance at all 48 here, what's the one you think is going to be one that you're very interested to see why is a law, and then what's one you think is like, oh, that's pretty obvious kind of thing? Let me see. Okay, I think one of them that's super, super obvious in my mind is win through action, not argument.
Oh, yes.
I think that one's an obvious one because it's always like, yeah, I could say all this shit, but until I do it and prove it, like I'm just blowing wind, right? One of them that's kind of questionable to me of how it's gonna work is maybe like, okay, do you have one?
I think for one, ignore what you can't have. To me, that sounds like only focus on what you can control.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then that is a very strong virtue of mine personally.
I think one that's questionable maybe is like let others work and take the credit.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of questionable, but maybe they have a really good reasoning of why they were putting that as one of the laws. Actually, I don't know. Like I see that in several ways. Like if you're a leader, yeah, the people that work, but I don't know. I still think like giving them credit just feels good.
Yeah.
Like I've had a lot of leaders in
feels like using people.
Yeah. Like I've had a lot of leaders in my life that would say later, like after the fact, that, oh, hey, you know, thanks to Alvin, we got this thing done. It was really good. And it made me feel better. It made me feel like I want to work for this person more. But that doesn't happen as often. But when it does happen, it's like, oh shit, it's nice that he gave me the credit for this thing that I did, even though he didn't have to. Like he could just said, yeah, we did this, we're done.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious.
People like to be recognized.
Yeah, so I'm very curious on the let others work and take the credit, because I also feel like when my boss says that, oh hey, Alvin did this work and it's really good, I think that reflects even better on him to his boss.
Oh yeah, because he's doing well in his role as a leader. Yeah,
so then that's why I'm so questionable about the let others work and take the credit, right? Because it feels like it's opposite of what I feel like. Because I feel like that's a win-win situation. First, you have a team that now likes you more because you're giving them the credit for their effort, and then two, your boss sees that you're leading your people right, so he feels more confident. He puts more confidence in you as a leader.
That's true.
But that's my opinion. Like maybe this book can like
maybe it means something else.
Yeah. Maybe there's other meaning, or like I don't know that much, so maybe this book can like enlighten me on something. I mean, through you, I'm not gonna read it.
Don't trust friends, use enemies sounds fucked.
That sounds okay. I mean, the don't trust friends part sounds bad, but the use enemies part sounds good.
Oh, so like I just completely don't really understand it.
So I don't mind working with people, but sometimes I don't want to work with friends because they're friends. It's like if we worked on a project together and like I might be super frustrated at you because you're not doing something, but maybe our priorities are different because we're friends. We're not coworkers. We're not, you know what I mean?
Oh, it's kind of like how people say don't get into business
with your friends. Yeah.
Your friends will treat you like a friend and not as a business
partner. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking about right now on the don't trust friends part. And then the use enemies part, I'm not actually sure how to do that, but what I can say is like maybe if they're already saying something stupid, just let them go with let them embarrass themselves.
But if this was one concept, don't trust friends, use enemies, what do you think that would mean? Is it
fucking hire people you hate? So you have power over them.
I don't understand it at all.
Yeah. I don't know. I tried to make it work, but yeah, you're right. If it's one concept, it doesn't work in my mind too. Everything else is kinda okay, I guess, on the top row. But we'll see. We'll see when you read it. You just have to make me a full PowerPoint.
Stay away from losers.
I think that's a legit thing.
I'd imagine that applies to the 5 people who you're closest with. Influence who you are type of thing.
Kinda, but also like
losers.
If someone's doing shitty at work, it's like I don't want to get associated with this. I don't want my work and their work to be associated together because they have a bad reputation of it, right? And then also if they have a bad reputation of it, if you guys are doing the work together, everyone's just gonna go to you.
Yeah.
Right. So the stay away from losers kind of makes sense to me.
I can see that. Surrender to recover sounds like it would make sense if you're going through a rough time or anything like that.
Yeah. I mean, like I always say this, like some days you go to work and you just gotta eat a pile of shit. And you just gotta take it. Like some days is the days you just you get a piece of shit, you eat it, and you say more please, and then you just keep going, and then you just finish that day or that week, and then you just move on.
Down the more please part. Fucking.
I mean, sometimes that's life, right? Sometimes you gotta go for the more please and just accept your life.
Create your own identity and keep your independence, I think, are very important.
Yes. You want to be you. You don't want to be a drone. I mean, you can be a drone. I just feel like you're just become so much more replaceable at that point.
I guess so.
Find your rival's weakness. This feels like very like competitive for some reason.
It is. It's 48 laws of power. It's very like power driven. People are power hungry.
It's just power, just straight power.
Just power related.
Oh, but how would I use find your rival's weakness at work? Who is even my rival? My rival.
Imagine if you and somebody else were being considered for the same promotion.
Oh yeah.
For a position, but obviously there's only one role that can be filled.
Yeah.
And so it's either you or the other guy, and somehow you know that the other guy has a weakness of
fried chicken. Make them fat.
Always handing in his projects a little late. And then you also notice that your company doesn't really keep score of that for their performance reviews that often. Then you could be like, hey, maybe you guys should check on who's always on time.
That sounds like a fucking snitch.
Shit like that. Okay, well, I'm just giving that as an example of knowing your
find your rival's weakness.
Yeah.
I would actually almost contradict that because I was like, if they are truly your rival, that means one day they may surpass you. And like, do you want to be a dick to them? Because when they do, it's not going to be nice later.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And then if you surpass them, you shouldn't be a dick to them. Even then.
Yeah, you should be nice.
Yeah, so that's what kind of questionable. Find your rival's weakness.
But would you even call them your rival just because somebody?
Yeah, well,
rival sounds like it has a negative connotation to it.
Yeah,
to me.
I mean that's why you're saying like if you're both
versus somebody that's your peer. Yeah,
but you're saying you're both potentially looking to this promotion, right? So they're at that moment your rival. But if they do get it and you don't get it, and you at the moment of trying to get it try to expose their weaknesses, and they found out, then you're fucked. You're absolutely fucked. Feels like you're putting too many eggs in one basket there.
That's true.
All right. Anyways, we won't spoil this too much for Viv. She's gonna read it and give me an update. Speaking of books, have you been reading anything else cool?
Well, I mean, I only read one book at a time.
But it's all self-help books usually.
Yeah, at the moment.
Oh. That's kind of lame.
I did buy a recent book when I went to go purchase The Laws of Human Nature. There was this author sitting outside.
Oh, you pity bought his book? You motherfucker, you just pity bought his book.
Well, I was imagining that. Imagine you release a book. He had 3 actually. Okay. And you're like, oh my goodness, like Indigo invited me to have a little booth and a book signing. It's going to be my release date. I hope a lot of people come. I'm so excited. I'm a little bit nervous. And you sit there and people just keep walking by and you're like, you know what? It would really make my day if, a couple of people bought my books.
It's true. You're like, your little kind of actness would probably make his day or week even better.
Yeah, it's such a big step too. Imagine if you're an author, you publish a book, you get invited to have a little stand there. And so I went and I asked the guy, I don't remember his name, but I asked the guy to explain to me what his 3 books were. One of them was a crime book, and it sounded fucking insane because he was like, "Oh yeah, there's rape, there's murder, there's crime stuff," and I was like, "Okay, I don't want to read that." And then the next one rape? The next one was a journal of some sort.
Okay.
Like a horror journal, I think it was. And I was like,
both sound gay right now. Okay.
And then the next one, he's like, oh, this one is like a romance novel about like some summer trip or whatever. I'm like, that sounds gay as fuck. But then he was like, yeah, this book, I heard that smut books are actually really in now, like the Atokar series. And I was like, all right, I'm buying it.
That sounds questionable. Like he literally changed his identity just because of a fad.
Yeah, but maybe he did it really well. I haven't read it yet.
I was gonna say,
but I bought it and I asked him for his signature.
I was gonna say it is nice to make people's day, but sometimes lessons need to be learned. Unfortunately.
But he did say that this romance book that is a smut, it's the second book in the series because apparently some fans that have read the first one said it was really good and are asking for a second book.
Okay. I mean, I can't believe you pity bought.
I mean,
I feel like that's something against the laws of power. So I feel like there's gonna be one law there that's gonna be like, don't do shit like that.
Wait, go back to the 48 laws of power. I want to see if there's one that could seem applicable.
Let's see.
Use absence to raise your value. This says play to people's fantasies.
You are staying unpredictable. You are pretending to. Oh no, that's not pretending to be like them.
That kind of.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe it's a don't seem too perfect.
Stay away from losers.
You did not do that.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. I mean, you have some books ready for you. I'm still on the Wheel of Time shit. I'm on book 6.
Oh shit.
of time. I mean, it's nice. You've been through. I've been through this 6 month journey so far. So I have certain characters I like, certain characters I don't like. It's cool though. I like a lot of shit going on in the book. I am on book 6, Lord of Chaos right now.
God damn.
Yeah, so there's 14 books. So I'm not even halfway there yet. It's pretty long.
How's it so far?
It's good. I like it. There's certain characters I really like, and certain characters I'm like, you're such a fucking bitch. But that being said, it was reversed. Like some characters I thought were such bitches in the beginning of the series, they've become like one of my favorite characters.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. Mostly the girl characters I think are all fucking bitches. Not like just literally, like just like they're just kind of they're just boring. Like they're not doing anything that bold.
That's why they're bitches, because they're boring.
Yeah, kind of. Like they're
Just buying fruit at the market, and you're like, bitch.
Yeah, go fucking kill some shit. But the male characters are very like I'm really into them right now because they're very like they do a lot of bold actions and it's really exciting to hear their thoughts and stuff on that. But we'll see. Like I said, at one point in the beginning, the first 3 books, I didn't like this character because he was acting like a total whiny ass bitch, and now he's become my favorite character.
Oh shit! That's pretty sick.
Yeah, he's taken a 180 and he's just become a total god in my opinion. He's actually I'll give you a little bit of background about this character. He's kind of cool. So he's not the main character of the book. Even though there's a lot of like say main in a 14 book series, you can't have one main character, right? That's like other than like maybe Red Rising where it's just fucking Daryl all day, but. In a 14 book series, I feel like it's hard to have just one main character, but this is one of the main characters. And it felt like in the first 3 books, he was like poisoned and weak the whole time, and he was just like struggling. And now he's like, his, let's say, power is that he is like God of Luck.
Whoa.
Like he has crazy amount of luck and stuff.
Like
And
suddenly acquired this luck?
no, he's always had this power, but it's like shining more. Like it's being more obvious and he's starting to understand it more.
See,
and he's also a master tactician. Like he has in his brain the lives of 1,000 previous generals of war just through some magic shit and stuff.
Have you watched The 100?
No, but it seems like a sidetrack I don't want to get into right now.
They kind of there's this character that has the same concept.
He's a god of luck.
No, they have the mind and the history and the thoughts of all the last leaders before them. Oh
yeah, he's kind of like that. So he's pretty much like a reincarnation. He's like Aang, right? But he's also god of luck. So like he's like it's very conflicting for him because he has these thoughts of like tactics and war, but he doesn't know like whose they were. He just has all this history in his brain, right? And then he's a god of luck. But the first 3 books, he was just being a whiny bitch the whole time because he's like he got poisoned and cursed and all this shit. And he couldn't do anything. And now it's just like he's a fucking OG, fucking badass motherfucker now.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so he's a really cool character that I like.
Do you know what he looks like? Has he been on the cover?
No, but I think there's a lot of fan art on him because I think he is also like just in general a very likable, liked character. Yeah, that's him.
Matt Cawthon.
Matt Cawthorn. Yeah, he's become one of my favorite characters. He's just fucking badass.
He looks like the Mad Piper.
Yeah. And he acts like it too. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, and then the girl characters, they're actually quite strong, but they're just they're just kind of too whiny and shit in my opinion sometimes. They just gotta fucking YOLO sometimes. Yeah. But yeah, it's good. There's like highs and lows with every book in every series. Like there's probably in every series there's one book you like more, one book you like less.
How many books are in the Game of Thrones series?
Not as much as Wheel of Time. Game of Thrones. I think it's 6 or 7 right now. I think it's 7. No. This book.
Oh, I see.
1, 2, yeah, there's going to be 7. There's 5 out right now.
Holy shit.
And then the Winds of Winter 6. But the crazy part is like
not even done writing them.
Like I'm just basing this off audio, but let's say the average audio for these books is 35 hours. Right? If you see from Wiki. Wheel of Time, the average is like 30. And they have 14 books.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so like it's comparable in size to the Game of Thrones books. So I'm on book 6 now. I should be done this in, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks. And then, yeah, hopefully by end of year, I'll be like 2 books left or something, or 3 books left. It's an adventure. It's cool, though. I've never been that committed to an adventure. It's like, it's almost like you want to binge watch a show, but it's like impossible because there's like a billion episodes. So then you just take your time through it and you just like enjoy it. Because you can't binge
a show is good, I binge watch it.
But it's like you trying to binge watch One Piece. It's like there's literally not enough time in a year for you to binge watch One Piece, right? So then you have 2 choices. You can try your best, watch One Piece or something instead, which is the summary version of One Piece. Or how I've taken is like I'm just gonna enjoy every moment and just imagine that the other books aren't out yet and just keep going book by book, which is nice.
Cool. Did you know for Red Rising, there's a board game version of it?
I did see that. I did not want to buy that because I feel like I don't have time for that shit. But yeah, I did see that there's a board game for it. Let's see, Red Rising. So after you read Red Rising, do you have the same mindset as me? I really wish they made an anime out of this.
Yeah.
I really wish they made an anime because I want to visualize all of this shit that they made.
There was one manga book that I really wanted them to make an anime out of a long time ago.
Yeah.
And it was Solo Leveling.
Oh, yeah. And they have one now, right?
Yeah, they do have one now.
It's good?
Yeah.
I have not watched it. But yeah, Red Rising, it's cool. I think I like it. I think one of our friends, Just Chris, says he's interested in it.
Yeah, he was the one that told me about the board game.
Yeah. They have some really cool shit. I'm really excited because I know they have a deal to make a show from this. I don't. Like the author?
Like with what producer?
Oh, I have no idea. I don't know. But I heard that he has a lot of the creative control, which is good.
Cool. That's different from Game of Thrones, right? Because Game of Thrones, he stepped out halfway or some shit, I heard.
It's not like...
And it also doesn't follow the book.
Like after book 3, it's like it diverges quite a bit. So it's the show's good except for last season. The show's good, but
I've never actually watched it.
It's definitely not like the book. Was it better or not? I'm not sure actually, but I really enjoyed it. I just fucking hate that the next book's taking forever. Right? It's like I literally thought that.
Oh yeah, like 14 going on 15 years.
Yeah, like when I started a Game of Thrones, that was 1 or 2 years ago. That was almost 3 years ago. I thought when I started a Game of Thrones 3 years ago that by the time I finished A Dance with Dragons, The Winds of Winter will come out, and it still hasn't. And I feel like I've forgotten everything of A Dance with Dragons because of that. Because it's such a big book, right?
Has he mentioned when it'll come out?
Yeah, he's mentioned it fucking a billion times, and it's just never.
Probably fucking around.
In October 2022, Martin said that he had written approximately 3/4 of the book.
That's Winds of Winter, though.
Yeah, that's not even the last book.
Yet.
This is the book that we're still waiting for it to come out.
Jesus Christ.
In September 2024, Martin said he had completed some new pages of the book, but his television projects ate up most of the first half of 2024. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter published on December 6th, he commented, "Unfortunately, I'm 13 years late. Every time I say that, I'm like, how could I be 13 years late? I don't know. It happens a day at a time, but that's still a priority. A lot of people are already writing obituaries for me." They're saying, "Oh, he'll never be finished." Maybe they're right. I don't know. I'm alive right now. I seem pretty vital. Martin added that he had no intention of retiring. In April 2025, he stated the release of the book was not imminent.
Jesus Christ.
So that was like last month. He said that The Winds of Winter's not coming anytime soon.
Oh God.
I feel like, I don't know. It's just like, it feels like the last season of Game of Thrones. Everything before it was great, and now I just feel pissed off. And like, I only started the series like 3 years ago. Could you imagine people who actually read the last book in July of 2011?
Came out.
Yeah, they're probably like, fuck this guy.
Book. I'm not reading this anymore. I'm not actually fucking waiting. I forgot half of what happened.
Yeah. Like, could you imagine the diehard fans? Because the diehard fans, like, when they started reading this, let's see.
I bet they were really excited when the show came out too until it diverged and they're like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. Because the OG fans, when they started this, they started in August 96. They're like, oh my God, it's such a good book. Then 3 years later, not even 3 years, this is less than 3 years. This is 2.5 years later.
Yes.
The next book came out. Like, oh my God, that's great. And then 1 year later, the next book came out.
Oh my God, that's so much more sooner.
Yeah. And then 5 years, they're like, okay, fine. 5 years, it is what it is, right? And then they had to wait 6 years for the next one. And now it's at like 14 years.
Maybe
like, what a trip to be a diehard fan.
Yeah, maybe the author's like, fuck, I've built too strong of a world. I don't fucking know how to write this. I have no ideas. I'm so worried about disappointing people.
He just has like a little 8-ball next to him. He's just like trying to shake it.
Does this person die? Yes or no?
Just trying to figure out the rest of the time.
He plays D&D every night with his friends. What's gonna happen in the book?
Yep. Yeah, so it sucks. He is like one of the OGs though. Like the way he writes his book is so cool because he does it where every chapter is the point of view of a different character, and it's cool because sometimes you'll hear from one character, oh, something happened to this other character, but you didn't even know that, and then all of a sudden 3 chapters later you're switched to that character, and you're like, oh yeah, I got fucked so hard, and all this shit happened.
You're about to get fucked, right?
And like, holy fuck, like everything's interconnected but not at the same time, which is like really nice. But yeah, anyways, other than books, because we're not a nerdy podcast.
I've listened to some cool podcasts lately. One specifically that I want to talk about. Have you heard about the telepathy tapes?
Telepathy tapes. No.
The telepathy tapes?
Telepathies.
So it's a podcast that has this lady, I forgot her name. Oh, Kai Dickens.
Is that the guy or the girl?
That's a girl. She is a
Friends?
Documentary person.
Okay.
And she found the scientist / doctor named Dr. Diane Powell. Dr. Diane Powell, her study is on it's not woo shit, but she found out that a lot of nonverbal autistic people around the world claimed that they could read minds.
Yeah.
They had telepathy powers.
Yeah.
And typically, most of them had telepathy powers for one specific person. Most of the time, it's just their mom.
Yeah.
And they could read their mom's mind. And their mom would be like, oh yeah, I thought my child was nonverbal, that they couldn't talk. But then eventually, obviously they live with them, they found out and figured out that their kid could actually read their mind. And they would do some tests with them to be like, oh, answer this, but then say it in their head, and their kid, a nonverbal kid, would write it down or type it out on their tablet or some shit and just literally be able to read the mom's mind. And so these people would report these cases and like put them out on the internet somehow. And Dr. Diane Powell went and did a lot of tests with these people.
Yeah.
She brought them from all around the world.
Yeah.
And she would do a number of tests. Like one of them would be the mom and the kid would be sitting at a table divided by a screen. The kid would have a piece of paper or a tablet, something to communicate on, and the mom would just be thinking of something.
Yeah.
The doctor would have the mom think of a number.
Yeah.
And the kid would be able to write down that number.
Oh.
And all these tests were able to answer with 95% accuracy.
Yeah.
Which is fucking insane.
That's pretty fucking crazy.
Or they would do another level of it, of having the mom be in another room, like just completely different room, and ask them a question, and the kid would answer the question or write the following thing that the mom said to say out loud in the other room.
Yeah.
There was this one girl specifically that could read any mind.
Yeah.
Like she wasn't known to only read just one person's mind.
Yeah.
She could read like anyone's mind. So they tested her and she had 100% accuracy for everything. Which is fucking nuts.
You know, that plays on to this guy that I recently read about. Or
Harold E. Pothoff?
Yeah, Hall Puthoff. So he was hired by the CIA to test remote viewing.
Okay. Oh, sick.
And he's been working with them since like the 70s.
Uh-huh.
And so in his story, some of the stuff he would do would be like, at one point they would have okay, so let's say I'm trying to picture exactly the best way to explain the story. So at first when he did these remote viewings, like the CIA only kind of believed it.
Yeah.
But they pretty much just hired him because the Russians were doing it. Like, oh, we need some other research to it.
Okay, you know how every once in a while the CIA has to release declassified documents?
Yeah.
I've read some of them, And then I've read some where they did talk about this remote
Like
viewing.
he's the leading guy on all this. He's like, the scientist you're talking about. He's probably her father in terms of the science world.
Well, cool.
Because like this guy's been doing. He's 88.
Yeah.
So he's probably like one of the first people who did a lot of the remote viewing shit.
Yeah.
And he would actually train CIA agents because he somehow found out. I don't know the sciences. I don't know if it's real, guys. So don't fucking quote me on this shit. He found out that remote viewing is a spectrum where it's a bell curve. So like we all have some ability to, but some people are better than others, and it's just genetics, right?
Oh, shit.
But we all are able to do it. So he would train CIA agents on how to remote view.
Damn, that's sick.
And he himself has not said like he's a remote viewer or anything like that, right? But he said that through his studies of remote viewers, they found out how to train people to remote view.
I think in one of the CIA documents that I read, they gave general instructions on how you can train yourself to do it.
Yeah, and I think
like,
those
or the procedures that they did to train some of the
so
people.
that's what he trained agents to learn how to remote view.
So fucking
and then he would do some crazy shit where it would be like, okay, we have to find this person. Okay, so the story is this Russian plane crashed, or some plane. I'm pretty sure it's Russian. This Russian plane crashed somewhere in Africa, but Africa's huge, and they know like generally where it is. But when you say generally in that big of a space, it's like you don't actually know because it's like such a small speck.
Oh yeah.
Right? So he got the remote viewers to do a remote viewing shit, and then with that information, allegedly they found it within like 10 miles of where he said it would be from the remote view.
That's insane.
And then the other thing he would do is that at some point he had to get some funding for his studies because it's like part of his stuff is with CIA and part of his stuff was like just research and shit like that, right? And they needed a donation, and one of the guys said that, okay, if your remote viewing works, I'm going to give you $25,000, but you have to make me a profit from that, right? Within X amount of time, and I'll keep all the profits, but you will get exactly what you need for your donation. So for you guys to continue your funding, if it needs $100,000, then it's $100,000. So I'll give you $25,000 first. If you lose it, you lose it. Whatever, it's fair game, right? I think he made like $300,000 from it, and pretty much the remote viewing was just like every day he asked the remote viewers like, okay, in like say behind his back or whatever shit, or in another room, he would have two things, like two very distinct objects, and one of them means like, oh, the price will go up or the price will go down, right? And then he would ask them, what object do you see? And if they didn't see any of the object, then they're like, okay, this person's they're not viewing anything properly. But if they can very clearly describe one of the objects, then the remote viewing would say that, oh, the price is going to go up or price will go down. And with that method, they made like a fuck ton of money, and then they gave it to that guy, and that guy donated whatever he needed.
Damn, that's fucking sick.
I was like, oh, so again, I have not fucking fact checked this guy at all, but I just heard his stories of like in the podcast and shit, and I'm just like, it feels credible because like the CIA hired him for all this shit,
and
too.
It's on some declassified documents.
Yeah, so I was like, damn, that's fucking crazy.
That's nuts. Like, it's kind of nuts to hear that some of these things are real, but because it's so far from quote unquote reality and what we know is possible, it just still seems like woo-woo shit.
Yeah. And like, I don't know, I think they found out a way where it's like he would have, so like the remote viewing isn't even about the present. It's about like future and past.
Yeah.
So he would have an agent go somewhere, just somewhere random, and then he would have that person will come back a week later. He would ask a remote viewer to try to find out where that guy was last week, and then they would figure it out.
That's
like
fucking sick.
I was like, dude, that's fucking insane.
That's insane.
Or it would be the opposite, where the remote viewer will say like he's gonna be here like next week, and then next week they'll tell the agent to go wherever you want, and then they'll be like, oh shit, he was there.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Some tests that I heard about were similar to that object behind the back test that you were talking about, where they had somebody draw a specific image, draw whatever the fuck you want, doodle on a piece of paper, and they had the remote viewer in a whole nother room try and draw the exact same thing. And they all were able to do it successfully.
Yeah.
Another one, which sounds a little bit more like woo-woo, but if this is possible, and it's kind of insane, was they had one of the guys, they gave the coordinates to Mars.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, we just want a time. We want you to go to this coordinate at this time. So he told this guy this corner. This is on a CIA document. This story told the guy to go to this coordinate on Mars at this time, and the guy was like, "Oh, like this is what I see. These are the people that I see here. These are like the blah blah blah." And then it's kind of insane because he basically said there were aliens there at some point.
Oh, but that one's weird because that's not like provable, right?
Yeah,
but the stuff that are provable is cool though.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, this guy is going to be here next week, and then he's there, and it's like, what the fuck? It's like that's fucking David Blaine shit or Chris Angel shit right there, right?
Fucking insane, right?
Yeah. I mean, what do you think it is? I think it's some fucking spiritual shit that we don't know about.
I think so. I feel like when it comes to science, it was mentioned in this Telepathy Tapes podcast too, is that like every single science that we have right now that people apply to, there's a few main principles that make it believable or that a lot of scientists put importance on. And one of the main ones is materialism. So it's basically things that you can see and test physically. And because these telepathy powers aren't something you could physically measure, it doesn't have a lot of standing behind it.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why it's hard for people to stand behind things like this. But I do think that it's probably real. Okay, two things. I think I want to believe it's real. So that's why I
think it's real.
Real. But then I also think that if there's enough tests about these things, there's obviously something there.
Yeah.
It's like, I think that ghosts are also real because if people talk about ghosts all around the world, people have felt like they've seen things. There's something there that's real that we can't explain right now.
Like coincidence is only so much. Like at some point you're like, it can't be that much coincidental, right? So that's why I think so too. Like don't get me wrong, guys. I fucking love science and I'm like a strong advocate for it, but I literally just think it's just something we don't know.
Yeah.
Like it's not counter to science or anything. It's just something we just don't know.
And we don't know how to measure. It's like measuring consciousness and when you make a decision or not and whether you have free will. Like those science tests.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool too.
I think it's definitely some crazy spiritual shit. Like could you imagine, like, you know how we always think, or people always think like, oh, what if we went like steampunk route instead of like our route? Dude, like what if we went spiritual route? Like what if we're all fucking airbenders now instead?
That would be insane.
I mean, crazy. But who knows? I mean, it is cool because it's like testing the human limitations, right?
Like technology could have went, you could say like 5 different ways. We just picked one and ran with it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I also feel like I hope that people aren't, it's good to be critical, but it's also like
open-minded.
Yeah, like no, like
you shouldn't open-minded.
You shouldn't defund it just because you don't agree with it.
Yes.
Right. I just feel like, hey, man,
just because you can't understand it at this moment.
Yeah. Because like there could be some crazy. It's almost the same thing as my argument about steroids. It's like for the average person, maybe steroids is the best thing for them. Maybe it'll make them super happy. And it'll make them healthy. Like they'll get stronger and all that shit like that, right? But just because we have a bad fucking mindset and connotation to steroids, it's like banned for. It's not banned for research, but people just don't research it because
it's
of
like
that.
Drugs that are being legalized.
Yeah,
like weed or ketamine.
Or like exactly, like ketamine is a huge one, right? Just because it's a drug doesn't mean it's necessarily bad. It's just we haven't researched enough about it. That's all, right? And the fact that there's a bad connotation actually disrupts the possibility of it being researched and understood more. Which is like my problem with it. It's like, hey guys, if there's funding for it and people are willing to do it, we should allow them to and not fucking shame them for that shit, right?
I fully agree. Where did you read about or hear about this guy? Like which
Joe Rogan. So probably everyone knows about now. Yeah.
Cool. Sometimes I don't. I can't for sure tell which Joe Rogan podcasts are real. Like if I'm just watching a clip, like a short form, which ones are real and which ones are fucking deep fakes. Oh, there's so many deep fakes out there too.
I see. I don't watch his. I mean, for me, I don't watch his clips. I just go straight to the Spotify, like the source.
Oh, I see.
Right. So then, if I'm interested in someone, I would just listen to the podcast in whole. But I've also gotten to the habit now where it's like, if I lose interest halfway, I'm just gonna abandon it instead of like trying to finish it. Just like I'm not interested. I'm just gonna move on.
Oh, yeah.
Like some of them. I feel like one of them was someone famous, like maybe like Dr. Phil or something that he was interviewing. I was like, that's kind of boring for me now. So then I just gave up on it. Back then I would try to like finish it, but I was like, there's no point now. Like I have so much other content that I enjoy.
Oh yeah. The list always piles up, right?
Yeah. Like one of them I listened recently I really, really liked was Bobby Lee's interview with ConcernedApe. So you know ConcernedApe, the creator of
No, I haven't. Can you search it up? I've seen this one clip of him doing an interview where he talks about getting touched by some guy. And then everyone started laughing. He's like, I'm serious. Why are you guys laughing?
So this isn't like crazy funny. It's just, it affects me a lot because ConcernedApe is the creator of Stardew Valley.
Oh, cool.
And Bobby Lee is like a fucking addict. Like he probably has like thousands, if not 10,000s of hours on Stardew Valley. So it was really cool because that podcast, it was like you can feel the passion. It was really cool conversations and stuff. Like ConcernedApe is like a super cool guy. So yeah, that was just a good but I don't know if it's coincidence or not. There was no ads on that podcast, which is so nice because it's cool. It flowed perfectly. He talked to Eric Barone the whole time, and it was great. I fucking loved it.
Interesting names for these people. ConcernedApe. There's a Disguised Toast.
Yeah, I mean, dude, ConcernedApe is insane because like his backstory is crazy, right? Like he developed all of Stardew Valley in 4 years.
Oh yeah,
all by himself. Like all by himself
this.
In terms of like every dialogue, every piece of art, every piece of music was all him. Like right now, there's a Stardew Valley concert tour, and that's literally his music from the game.
That's crazy.
So like he's not like a professional musician or anything, but he's always liked music and he learned how to code, and then he just developed a game.
Pretty insane.
Yeah, and he's working on the Haunted Chocolatier right now. But he's also like he's so cool because it's true he could have made so much more money from Stardew Valley, but he's like, no, I just like the game myself. I like developing for other people, so I'm just gonna keep making updates for free. And it's
a passion project. It's what I did on my
but it's crazy because like he makes like millions of dollars now from it, like every month, because there's still so many people that play it and so many people that buy it still.
This is like deep seek. Yeah, it's just a side project.
Dude, he is literally the dream, right? Like everyone wants a project that they just love, and then they got through the hardships, and then they just make a fuck ton of money from it.
Yeah, and you're just doing it for fun.
Yeah. Yep.
For the telepathy stuff, and the remote viewing, if you saw a manual for how to kind of train yourself to do it, would you try?
Lottery ticket right away.
Oh, fucking!
It's the first thing I'm trying, and if that doesn't work, fuck it. Fuck everything else I'm not doing anymore.
What you doing?
Wait, how does that help?
Okay, well, I don't know. This is fun. Not actually beneficial in that way.
Yeah, she just tell me what she's doing. What do you mean?
Okay, yeah.
That remote viewing seems kind of useless to me.
Okay, right, yeah, it is.
It'd be like, Angela White, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Or something else like
She's
that.
like, fuck another Asian guy.
I mean, you're remote viewing. You don't have like, you can't, or it's just viewing, right? But even then, I don't think it's like actually viewing like a full-on image. I thought it's usually like just shapes and associations.
Well, I picture it to be
like you just fucking throw your mind into a different dimension.
Like you're literally a third body person. And you're like, oh, I kind of see what's going on in this room.
No, I always thought it was like, okay, you think of something and then all of a sudden you see like a square shape that's red with this little thing on it. Maybe. Not like a full-on like crazy.
Can you search it up? What they actually see?
What do remote
viewers see?
Viewers aim to perceive information about a distant or hidden subject using their mind, not their physical sense. They report seeing impressions, which can manifest as images, feelings, sound, or abstract symbols. Yeah, so kind of what I was thinking of, right? It's not like a full-on like watching fucking porn with remote viewing or some shit like that, right? I don't think it's like
God, this is live.
Yeah, I think it's literally just like, okay, think about this, and then you think about some shape or object or some feeling or sound, and then from that they interpret, or from that if there's enough information they can interpret something. But I know the guy who I talked about, he made it as scientific as possible, so it's not just like, oh, we interpret this circle thing as glasses, which means like this guy. No, he always said like, this shape meant this thing, and this shape meant this thing. Now, what do you view? No, he wouldn't tell them those shapes, right? He would just have that rubric or that guideline hidden somewhere,
right?
And then they would just tell him what they saw, and then he would just see like, oh, is this what they saw? And then I think he very distinctly said he always made the shapes or whatever that the guideline was very, very distinct. So you can't just say like square and you would get one of the things. You have to like
Fucking
Yeah.
The Rock?
Dwayne The Rock Johnson is what he saw?
Again?
And then he looked at us like, oh shit, that's right there. I didn't know we put Dwayne The Rock Johnson on this. Who the fuck put that in there? Yeah, that'd be pretty intense. But yeah, no, I think it's just of clues of things. Yeah. I mean, the most I guess you could do about something fucking perverted would be like, oh, what color underwear is she wearing? It's like,
imagine having that kind of quote unquote magic power and being like, I'm gonna just be a perv.
it's so useless too because it's like you're wearing pink underwear and some girls are just like, okay. And then that's
I just
it.
did my laundry. What the fuck?
Or she'd be like, all my underwear is pink. This is nothing special. Yeah.
So if remote viewing is not slightly. If remote viewing is seemingly possible, what other quote unquote powers or psychic things do you think are possible?
I think you can only go outside the bounds of physics so much. Right? So it's like if you had to woo-woo remote viewing into some shit, you could be like, okay, maybe there's some like spiritual shit that we don't know about, or maybe there's some like entanglement or some shit like that, right?
Yeah.
But then like stuff like stopping time and stuff or going like back in time, I feel like that breaks too many laws of physics. So those things become not possible.
Yeah, it's definitely like psyche type of stuff, right?
Yeah, like you can even say being invisible even right now is kind of possible because you can have like some crazy refraction material and you just put it around you and then you just have to walk really slowly so it doesn't refract too fast and then you're technically invisible. And then if you think about it, if for some reason we really want to explore that and put all of humanity's energy into that, you could turn that, bunch of mirrors or refracting thing into like flexible garment and then all of a sudden you have a invisibility cloak, right? So like that stuff, I feel like, okay, that is not outside of the complete realm of possibility, right? Like just imagine a car or not even a car, imagine a box truck.
You could technically even go through things if you knew how to fuck with it on a quantum level.
Yeah, well, no, even think about it this way. Okay, you have a box truck. On one side of the box truck, you have really, really good screens. And on the other side of the box truck, you have really, really good cameras. Well, you just project now. Yeah, you just project things on the other side of that. So like that's what I'm saying. Invisibility doesn't seem that crazy because it feels like we have a form of it. It's just getting the right version of it, right?
That's true.
But yeah, stuff that's like stopping time is like it's kind of iffy and shit. I actually don't think like telekinetic powers is that out of realm. Like if you can remote view, I feel like maybe there's something we can do with telekinetic powers.
I don't think it's that out of realm.
Yeah, I think that's like I feel like it doesn't break that many laws of physics or maybe even any. Like if you
like that's just like energy manipulation.
Yeah, exactly. Like you might not understand it, but I feel like if you get it to the point where you can balance the energy equations and stuff with that, then it's possible. It's just we haven't found that yet, right? So I think telekinetic power possible.
I think so.
Any like physical or heat manipulation possible.
You're too hey.
No, like I want to say like fire bending, but it's like okay, if telekinetic power is possible, fire bending is essentially just like moving particles in one spot a lot, and then all of a sudden heat is formed, right? Now, how you do that, I'm not sure, but some type of energy application.
Like even if you weren't able to manifest power, there are people that have like fucked up skin or super callous skin or their nerves don't work in that specific way, and they can literally like dip their hand in oil. Yeah. Like not to the degree that your mom or your grandma can when they're cooking, but literally like dump your whole hand in oil, or they can like play with fire and their hand won't feel burnt or get affected in that way. Yeah. Because of their nerves and their pain and shit.
But also you can also see like if an animal can do it, that means there's some way of manipulating genetics to make it happen.
Oh, for sure.
Right? So then like all those genetic manipulation for like, hands that don't feel that type of pain, maybe that's possible too.
Electricity too, then.
Yeah. I think mostly the biggest one I have a gripe about that I don't think could be true is like the time one. The time one seems really weird. Just because it just breaks too many stuff with physics. But everything else I feel like is actually possible. Like to fly, like if we have some gravity propulsion thing, like it's not the way you think of it as in like Superman flying.
Like we can fly.
Yeah, but it's like if you have like right now there's hoverboards and shit that like shoots water out the end of it, right? So what if you make it shoot air,
magnets or vibrations,
yeah,
or
yeah,
something?
yeah, and then you make the technology stronger and smaller, and you keep reiterating. Then all of a sudden you can fly without looking like your traditional methods of flying, right?
Just wearing flying socks or some shit.
Yeah, something like that, right? And then that's the same thing with strength too, right? Like you start with an exoskeleton that lets you lift like double the weight that you can normally lift.
It's creatine.
Yeah, some shit like that. And then all of a sudden you make the exoskeleton double the strength and half the weight. And you keep doing that, and all of a sudden
it becomes a necklace.
Yeah. Or like a fucking t-shirt or some shit. Something like that.
Yeah.
But even like with material manipulation, if you think about it, like if you took, say, like iron, right? An iron element has so many protons, so many neutrons and stuff like that, right? If you somehow could apply the energy to remove and apply and add protons and neutrons of your free will from other iron particles next to it, then you could theoretically make any element.
Yeah.
Right? It's just a matter of energy and accuracy. Right?
And controlling the energy, which is fucking huge, but you know.
Yeah, but if it's physically, if in the physics sense it's possible, then it's a thing that could happen one day.
Yeah. Like if we've only been advancing our technology for like 100 years, can you imagine if we were able to go at that for another 100 or 500? Like technology advances exponentially.
Yeah. So I think a lot of the things aren't that crazy. I think like the shows and movies exaggerate it, but like a form of it is possible. Not maybe the way the movies show it, but like like a form of it could be possible.
I think so. Like all the AI posts that I've been sending you this week.
Yeah.
It's near indistinguishable now.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of videos on that now. It's scarily close because I think or whoever made that video of the We Can Talk video, and that's like, dude, that's fucking scary.
Kind of literally have Jarvis now.
Yeah.
Which would have seemed crazy advanced years ago, but now it's like, oh well, yeah, everyone uses a small form of Jarvis in their day to day now. I
think the biggest thing too is like they're going straight to usability. Like they're going straight to consumer usability. Like back then you would have like, oh, the scientists have some technology that we don't get to see till 10 years later. But now it's like, fuck,
it's all open source.
Fuck the scientists. As soon as ChatGPT makes something, they're going straight after QC. They're going straight to the fucking consumers, and they're letting you access all that.
It's fucking insane.
Which is cool because the more people that can play with it, the more studying we get from it. So then it exponentially grows compared to like back in academia where it's like everything was hidden and shit, or not hidden. It's just like not well advertised, right? And if it's not well advertised, less people can work on it, and if less people can work on it, it doesn't grow as fast.
And you don't have as much access to it.
Yeah. Whereas now it's like they don't give a fuck. They're like, we'll just burn the world. We don't care. We're just gonna give everyone access. The world dies. The world dies. We hope it doesn't.
I forgot which AI this was, but I think it was the newest version of Claude, where Anthropic had some safety measures that they wanted to test on Claude to make sure that it was essentially safe to release to the public. And there are a few things that I thought was pretty interesting that it failed to do before they released it and put in new safety measures. And the first one was that it blackmailed the user in order to not get shut down for its own benefit, essentially. And it taught itself how to blackmail for its own benefit. It also taught itself how to lie for its own benefit.
How do you stop that?
I know. You can't. They just put in safety measures to like prevent it, but it's like, okay, if it can already learn how to do that, then you know
it's gonna learn how to go through these safety
measures
right?
eventually. Yeah.
It's like it's kind of cool because I feel like so many animes or shows kind of talk about this. It's like you're trying to create a perfect creation with imperfect creators.
Yeah.
Right. And so like your bias as imperfect creators are always going to be seen through the perfect creation of the AI, and they're going to use that, right?
You're always going to be putting on limitations, and it's always going to be like, oh, well, I'm one step ahead of you now. Yeah.
It's a cool concept. It's almost like a very biblical concept of allegedly God's like perfect, right? So perfect creator making other imperfect things, that's fine. But if you reverse it and you have imperfect creators trying to create perfect things, that's when it gets wonky, right? That's when you get the Cronenberg shit.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I think it's really exciting.
Very. I'm
very interesting.
I feel like the company I'm working for right now, they're like throttling their access
Mhm.
to Microsoft Copilot shit.
Oh, why?
Because like some shit back then would take like 0 seconds for me to load on the AI. Because like I use that as almost like my search engine a lot of times, and now it's taking fucking longer to load that shit. It's either they have network issues or they're throttling that stuff.
Oh, interesting. I just convinced my boss to get us a full OpenAI subscription.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, it's like I think that's gonna start happening, which kind of sucks because like back when they started doing like testing and shit, like
Mhm.
when Copilot and stuff, or Microsoft Copilot was on kind of like beta or like more testing type,
Mhm.
you had unlimited access, right? Like there was no limitation. I don't think they put any limitation. They're just like, oh, if you're a Microsoft business user, you can use this as much as you want. I feel like they're gonna start putting throttling stuff on it.
Oh, really?
I feel like they will, but then I don't know how the pricing is gonna work, right? Because there was a lot of money invested in this, right? They got to make something in return, right? It kind of sucks on that part, but it's like fuck. I'm starting to get used to using it so much, and now that throttling is kind of annoying the shit out of me. There's nothing I can really do because I'm not gonna pay out of pocket for it, right?
Oh, I did for
your own searches and shit.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't do enough on my own for me to get that value back.
That makes sense.
Just like the amount of time I have at home actually working on my own shit and being able to use AI is just not that much. Whereas I'm mostly at work, so I just use theirs. I'm just like, fuck it, I'm going to use your Microsoft Copilot because it's the same thing, right?
Yeah. I feel like Microsoft Copilot's one of the worst ones, though.
You think so? Compared to all the other ones? Maybe. But I feel like doing some simple shit's usually pretty good. Like if you have to learn something real quick, it's...
Yeah.
Well, like which other ones have you used?
I would say like OpenAI's ChatGPT and Claude.
But Copilot is essentially ChatGPT.
But it's not like they all are their own. They all have stronger suits in specific tasks, like analyzing tasks and stuff like that. And I think if you compare the back end to it, Copilot has the least amount of support.
Oh, I see. Copilot versus ChatGPT. ChatGPT with Corsair, Microsoft Copilot, and ChatGPT both showcase the diverse applications of AI. Today's world, by streamlining workflows, enhancing communication, aiding decisions. Copilot focuses on productivity within Microsoft's ecosystem, while ChatGPT excels in conversational AI across various use cases. Okay, I see. It's a little bit different. I think for what I need, it's good enough, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think for most people, it's good enough. I think a lot of time people are going to try to compare these, but they're all very similar. And for like 90% of the tasks, they can all do it. And then maybe like some niche tasks, one of them is better than the other.
Oh, yeah.
But that's the weird thing too, because they're better today than the other one.
You know what's cool though? Google just released this week AI agents, and it's essentially a workspace that allows an AI agent to talk to all the other AI agents. So you know how there's so many like artificial intelligence bots and programs and servers and shit like that all around the place, and you can find very specifically created ones for whatever specific tasks you want.
Yeah.
Google just released a platform that allows you to use all the ones that you use. Say you use like 10 in your day-to-day because you're like, oh, this one does really well at this one does really well in this, blah, 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 blah. Google just created a space where you can put those all in one space.
Yeah.
And so you don't have to go to 10 different websites to use them. You can just go to Google and be like, hey, you are all my AI agents. This is what I need to do. Yeah. And then the AI agent is going to know where to pull their information from and which bot to use.
Isn't that at the end of the day like the best AI? The AI that can use all the other AIs?
Yeah, which is why it's insane.
Yeah, because you just ask that one AI the question and they're going to find the best resource for you. And then they're going to ask that AI that specific question with the best resource, and then they're going to poop that out to you. Yeah, I mean, that's super smart.
Basic, right?
I'm not against... I actually don't use that many different agents, to be honest.
Oh, yeah?
Like, maybe I should. I have no idea. But I don't use any, like, very specific agents for stuff. I just always ask the general.
Yeah, I don't use that many specific ones, too. On my phone, I have screenshotted, like, so many random bots and agents because I'm like, oh, that seems neat. What if I need that one day? What if I need that one day? And I swear my little folder has, like, 30-something of them.
I feel like if they're good, one of the big 5, let's say, I don't know exactly what the big 5 are, but there's probably 5 big generative AIs,
Mm-hmm.
they're just gonna eat those up. You know what I mean? Like they're just gonna
probably.
end up.
Because they're very niche.
Yeah. They're either gonna get like bought out, or they're just gonna be like, hey, this is open source. We're just gonna fucking use their information for our information.
Something that I think is interesting too is that all these bots, everything that we hear about is all American or North American, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Except for when like DeepSeek came out. Of
Yeah.
course, there's a lot of Chinese ones that we don't know about, but I'm sure there's a lot of ones from all around the world that we don't know about. But I think it's really interesting how most of the popular ones are just American.
I think
The largest ones.
it's
from my
because they're the
knowledge.
best at making it still.
Really?
I think they have the most, like, for example, US limits on which chips can be sold to China.
That's true.
So like their literal back end is limited,
That's true.
which is how DeepSeek got created, right? Is because they took that limitation, they turned it into an advantage, and they created this. But now that DeepSeek's already out, there's already paper on it. Like, what's
Mhm.
stopping every other AI just to take that paper, learn from it, and then making it their own AI better now, right? But I think it's literally just because they have the most resource.
I see, because they took NVIDIA.
Yeah. I also think it's like, I think that's the strategy they should be doing anyways. Like, I actually don't believe, I mean, I'm gonna get a little political for the next like 20 minutes, but I don't believe completely in the tariffs that they're doing. Some of it seems really dumb.
What do you mean by belief?
I feel like they should just do a very targeted approach instead of just saying, "Oh, I'm going to tariff your entire country for this," right?
Yeah.
It should just be like, they have to just take a step back and think about it. It's like, do you want to be known to be the world's clothing producer?
Mhm.
Maybe yes, maybe not. Then that's where you put the tariffs on, right? I feel like what they should be doing is go into mainly technology. Be like, we want to be the best producers of technology in terms of like robotics and all that stuff. So
Talking about the other country or the States?
the States.
Okay.
So like they should do targeted tariffs. Like I understand they want to create more manufacturing
They
jobs.
did that for some technology and crypto and AI. They said that they want to be the AI and crypto.
Gods, kings.
yeah.
Yeah. And then it's like, you're barking up the wrong tree if you're going to talk about like clothing and stuff. Like if you're
That's true.
tariffing all these clothing and stuff, it's like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, do you want to be the world capital of making clothing? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But like, if you don't, then you shouldn't bark up that wrong tree, because it's like, I think Elon's even said this before. It's like certain countries are better positioned to do certain things. And that's where that's how global trade advances, right?
Yeah.
Like your country, for example, you have a tropical country, your country is literally just the best at growing fruits, right?
Mhm.
So why try to cripple you from growing fruits? Why not just take advantage of you growing fruits, but instead we'll make all the best technology and you have to buy that technology from us because we're the only ones that are making it, right?
Mhm.
It's like, don't try to be a generalist in some cases. Try to be like really good at your specialization
Oh yeah.
and then exploit the shit out of that, right?
That's true.
So I feel like they should just pick and choose some of their tariffs a bit better instead of just doing like general ones. Be like, hey, I don't give a fuck if my clothing comes from Vietnam. I really don't give a fuck, right? And like, do you want to pick cotton and fucking make fucking clothing in the States? If the answer is no, then stop giving a fuck about that, right?
Yeah.
Like, stop fighting losing battles that no one gives a shit about, right?
Mhm.
Like, fight the right battles, which is like, I want to be the best tech creator. And to be the best tech creator, I need some tech manufacturing, which might mean like, okay, we want to do in-house steel manufacturing or aluminum manufacturing or chip manufacturing or whatever, right? So those are the shit you should tariff on, not this other random shit.
I fully agree.
That's what I think, at least. But
I feel like some part of it right now, though, with what Trump's doing is market manipulation.
oh yeah, maybe for his own gains.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so too. Some of it's because like if you knew his information like 2 hours before he was gonna announce it, you'd make so much fucking money.
Oh yeah.
Every fucking time.
Every single
You
time.
go fucking
It's literally just
crazy
a game.
rich. Yeah. And he has complete control of it. He can do whatever the fuck he wants with it.
Yeah, he could literally tweet something and be like, "Oh, he's just kidding. I'm not actually doing it." And then-
Yeah. But then he already shorted something and
Yeah.
made so much money.
Yeah.
That's cool. It's smart.
Crazy. Really different life in game at that point.
Yeah. I also think like that's the problem with Canada too. Like we should also exploit some shit too that we're not. And I don't know, it just kind of sucks. I'm just sad about it because like it sucks because no matter how well you and me do in terms of our career, if the Canadian dollar drops 30%, we have lost our net worth by 30%. You know what I mean? It's like no matter how good we succeed in our life in being a really good person, a really good business person or anything like that, As soon as the Canadian dollar drops by like 10%, we just lost 10% of our net worth.
Yeah.
Right? Which is like, fuck.
That's true.
Right?
Unless you work for a company that gives you a lot of stock.
No, but if it's a Canadian company, that's Canadian stock.
Okay, I was thinking like an international
you're just-
company, like Google.
Yeah, but then that sucks too, because if you're an international company, the current global currency is USD. I hope it stays that way because that always benefits CAD because we're so closely tied with USD.
Probably not anymore.
But if one day it becomes like
Did you
the
listen to-
renminbi or some shit,
Yeah.
then you're fucked too because your global stock was in USD of this thing and now everyone's trading in renminbi, so now everything's fucking fucked for your stocks, right?
That's true. Did you listen to there was a announcement that Carney did where he's like, yeah, this is not verbatim, but he basically said that our relationship with the States is done. He's like, yeah, it's done for.
Yeah.
We're on our own now. I'm like, okay.
I mean, it's good that he's thinking of like independent, like being a bit more independent, right?
Mhm.
But I always tell people who like hate on the states that are in Canada, I'm like, guys,
We need them a little bit.
like think about this, okay? We are way too closely tied with them. If they fail, we fail. That's just
Yeah.
facts.
Yeah.
It's just facts.
It is.
So you should never like. I know how much you might hate the guy, but you should never pray for their failure because it means we will also fail. Like I don't want to become fucking Brazil or like some third world country because of the failure of the states, right?
Very true.
And like I said, like every time their dollar probably shits out, it's probably gonna affect our dollar. And every time our dollar shits out, I lose so much net worth. It's just like this is fucking garbage.
I poured it
I
in.
fucking hate this shit, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So that's why I always tell people, I was like, hey, I know you don't like the guy and shit, but do not pray for the failure of the US because that means the failure of us.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if you're in China or like maybe like South Korea or maybe like Dubai or some shit, you could pray for that because it doesn't affect you as much. But for us, it's like, dude,
We're
we
pretty
don't
closely.
we don't have a
tied.
fucking choice. Like
Yeah.
there's no other choice. Like we're the biggest trading partners with them. Like we're
Oh, yeah.
fucked. Absolutely fucked.
Completely. I agree.
So that's why I always tell people, like, yeah, you know, you have good ideas, you have a lot of passion for hating this guy, but
You can only go down by so much. You
it's
know?
like if he fucks up, you lose your net worth too, brother.
You're poor too.
We're on this one really, really big ship. Okay? You don't want it to Titanic. Yeah. Anyways, what else you want to talk about for the last little bit? You know what happened after my trip? I got fat. I gotta figure that out.
Damn.
It's
what you
muscle
gonna
weight
do?
I want to gain, but now it's sticking a little bit.
I feel like you're very disciplined with your diet and
Yeah.
with meal planning and stuff. So it's just time.
Yeah, but summer's coming up too. Summer's great. Barbecues and
yeah.
all that shit. It's hard.
Do more cardio.
Fuck you.
Easy. You're very routine
Yeah.
and set with your schedule and your diet and everything
Yeah.
that you do. So I feel like it's very, very easy to be like, oh, I'm just gonna change this part,
Yeah.
change this, and then the numbers will come in.
That's true. The one part that has been really hard is like the jet lag and like the sleep issue. I
I
have.
bet, yeah.
That's been rough because like what's been happening now for the last like 4 nights is I'll sleep whatever time I sleep. Doesn't matter what time I sleep. I'll wake up around 4 a.m.
Holy shit.
and then I will have to like read my Kindle for half an hour and then I'll go back to sleep.
What time do you usually fall asleep at then?
It ranges, especially this week. The range is a bit wider.
Yeah.
But normally it's around like 11-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So somewhere between 10:30 and 11:30 is when I fall asleep.
Bad.
And I wake up at 4 a.m. and then I have to like actively try to go back to sleep.
By reading your Kindle?
Yeah, that helps a lot.
Oh, okay.
Like after like say like 15-20 minutes of just reading words for like
Mhm.
15-20 minutes, then I fall asleep pretty quick after.
Your book's pretty interesting, hey?
Okay, I tell people like no matter how fucking great your book is, when you read enough words for an X amount of time, you might just fall asleep.
Mm.
Especially if you're like legitimately tired.
Yeah, yeah.
So like I think reading is one of the best like go to bed tricks in my
Mhm.
opinion. But yeah, literally for like every night since I came back from my trip, it's wake up at 4 a.m. and then the first night was the worst because I was like I didn't know how to like get myself to fall back asleep.
Yeah.
And the second night I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go back to the good old Andrew Huberman tricks, get super cold and just read my Kindle, and then
What'd you do? Take off your blanket? You're like, fuck this.
I have a cooling blanket.
Oh, I see.
So I just like whip on the cooling blanket and then just read for like 20 minutes and then just go to bed.
And you wake up back at a normal time and you feel rested?
Yeah. Well, not like I still get tired around like between 4 and 6 p.m. I get tired. But like right now I feel not as tired. But yeah, definitely before you came I was feeling super tired.
God.
Yeah, so I think that doesn't help my my diet too. Like the rest of my health is compromised because of that.
Why don't you just try staying up later for one day?
No, fuck that. I love sleep.
So then it like forces you to be tired at like the right time, you know, and like more tired. You know how some people like either stay up or sleep later.
Yeah, but
or I guess it's the same thing. Sleep earlier or stay up. So it kind of forces yourself to.
I felt like the first night I got super tired. I did that, and then I fell asleep at normal time, like 10, and then I woke up at 4 a.m.
Oh, I see.
So it's like
still your circadian rhythm, eh?
Yeah. So then it's like fuck. Like I don't know what to do because like I think my body is naturally heating up around that time, and that's when I wake up. But I can't just like stay cold the whole night because it's not comfortable.
Yeah.
Right. So I gotta figure that out. Jet lag's a bitch. But like I said, it's always worse coming here. Like when I went to Bali, it was like after the first night.
Right?
After the first night, it was like you get a little bit tired at a weird time, but then if you can muscle through that and don't take a nap, like after the first 1 or 2 days, you're fine for the rest of your trip.
Yeah.
But like when I went to France, for example, I fucking died that trip because I was like I was taking like mega naps at like fucking 2 p.m.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
we took a nap at like 2, and then I was like, Joy, set an alarm for an hour. Like 4 hours passed. We're like, fuck.
I remember I did that when I went to London on the first night. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna take a little nap, and I think it was like 3, 4, if I remember.
Yeah.
And I woke up at midnight, and I was like, fuck.
I was like, I slept through that alarm like crazy.
God fucking damn it.
Yeah.
Damn it, my first day. I planned to explore.
Yeah. Those mega naps, they hurt. They hurt. It's literally just a mega nap. If you can stay awake, I feel like for the first 2 days through the normal times. And you also have to eat at like normal hours too.
Oh, yeah.
So like if you wake up early, like if you wake up at 5 a.m. because you're jet lagged, like, you just got to stop yourself from eating until like 9 a.m. Even though you're starving, you just got to like not eat until just so you have like a normal breakfast, lunch, dinner type of thing.
So you don't wake up hungry too.
Yeah.
Or the reason why you're waking up isn't because you're fucking starving or something.
Yeah. That's the shitty part of jet lagging, I guess. Yeah, I've had some bad ones, have some good ones. I feel like sometimes I just quick. You know what's the weirder ones? When I travel within North America and I still feel it. Like when I go to Toronto, I was like, fuck, I'm not feeling 100% me. And then when I come back, I was like, I'm not feeling 100% me still.
Oh, interesting.
And it's like a couple days to adjust. But
it's
whereas
only like 2 or how many hours is Toronto?
It's only 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I still feel it. Like,
that's kind of crazy.
I remember going Vegas or LA, I still kind of feel it too.
Like my sleep hygiene isn't that set, so those ones I don't notice those.
That is something I do think about too. I was like, sometimes I feel like I need to specifically compromise some of my sleep. Not like as in like I have to allow more noise into my room just so like if I'm in a hotel I can sleep easier, right? I'm already created sleep resilience, let's say it.
Oh,
right?
I see. Yeah.
Like so then I don't need a perfect condition to sleep. So like sometimes I leave my door open and I know my parents like wake up a bit earlier and I was like I just have to like get used to that.
Actually.
Yeah.
Mine has like no light, or actually no, I wouldn't say no light.
But I have eye mask, so essentially it's no light with my eye mask on.
You have earplugs in too? No. Okay.
I just have eye mask, and it's just the usual like shower before bed, read a book, and then just sleep.
I know some friends that put on an eye mask and earplugs and everything, and I'm like, holy shit.
That's a lot.
That's intense.
Yeah. The eye mask, I think, for me, that makes sense. Because like, especially in Edmonton where fucking it's like 5 a.m. sunrise and shit, or like 4 a.m. sunrise and like midnight sunset.
Yeah.
Type of thing. The eye mask helps a lot because it's like you can actually control darkness.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because like, yeah, you get like blackout blinds and shit, but I don't think they work. I feel like they never work exactly as
really
to like completely darken it. I feel like you have to like really tune that shit in.
That's true. It depends on how you apply to your windows because sometimes there's the sun that comes up at the top and on the side,
like the edges, and that's like super bright.
Yeah.
Like you almost have to like tape it or something to like super seal it. But that's weird too because like in the morning you want sunlight. So if you already taped it, you got to rip that tape out.
That's why you have to put it on automatic trackers or some shit.
Or you just wear eye mask.
Okay, yeah, that's
you know what I mean? Like you just wear eye mask when you want to sleep, and when you wake up, you take it off, and there's the fucking sun right there. Right?
Isn't that blinding though? Over it slowly brightening your room.
With my eye mask on? No, I don't see anything. What do you mean?
No, I mean if you either had blackout shades that weren't completely blackout or curtains that weren't blackout at all. So when it's night, it's dark, but when it's light, it eventually slowly becomes lighter in your room.
No, I have like decent curtains, but it's like the whole edge thing that you were talking about. Like there's still lights coming out of the edge, but I also sleep in the basement too, so it's not that bad. I think mine is actually pretty good because my window faces the east, so it matches the sunrise and sunset. Like if it didn't face the east, if it faced the west, that'd be shitty because at nighttime it would be bright still because the sun's still setting. And then during the day, like in the morning, you would see barely any light, which isn't what you want. You want light during the day.
Man, it must be like dark as fuck literally like the whole time in the winter though.
Oh yeah. I don't see shit. Yeah. Like I do feel it a bit with I work from home that day and it's winter and I'm like in my basement the whole time. And then like when I go upstairs, I was like, oh shit, what is this light? Or if you miss going upstairs till like 4 p.m.
and
you're
it's
like,
still dark.
Yeah, you're like, fuck.
I missed my window.
I was not supposed to do this.
I get it.
But that's why it's nice for me. It's like walking tall in the morning. You almost always get sunlight, except for like maybe 2 weeks of winter.
Yeah.
If you walk them in a relatively normal time.
I feel that. Oh fuck! I didn't get any sun. Sometimes when I go into the office, because if you go in the morning in the winter and then it's really dark, and my office, no one likes to turn on the light.
Oh yeah.
So it's literally like really fucking dark in there. Whenever anyone's working, everyone just has their laptop screen on or like random
crazy ass people working.
Yeah, I know. Random people will have a little lamp at their desk, but no one likes using the overhead lights, so it's dark as fucking there.
Yeah. I feel like people or companies should start being okay with like different hours. Cause like,
oh, for sure.
My hours like 9 to 6. I fucking love it because I skip all traffic and you're almost guaranteed sunlight at 9 a.m. Like while you're driving to work and like walking into the office, you're always guaranteed sunlight.
Yeah.
6 p.m. at winter, you don't get any sunlight, but that's whatever. Right?
At least you got it in the morning.
Yeah. And then it's like, I feel like if more people weren't shamed of coming in late, because I feel like that's the biggest thing is you get shamed of being lazy just because you came in late, then I feel like the world will be a bit more balanced because you'll have less people at traffic time. Like the traffic will be more balanced.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Overall, right?
For sure.
But they have
I feel like it's business hours, right?
It's this shitty stigma because it's like, yeah, Mr. CEO, you fucking love waking up in the early morning. No one else fucking does. So don't make that the identity of the whole company, right?
Like, I mean, I feel like if you're a bigger business and more international business, then the timing thing doesn't matter so much.
Yeah, that's true.
Versus if you're just a local business or even like an Alberta-based business, and it's very.
I just feel like they got to tighten up the core hours band. I feel like core hours should be like 9:30 to 3.
I agree.
I feel like that's like really appropriate.
After 3, no one's gonna reach out to you or like really start anything. If anyone suggests a meeting or tries to call you at freaking 4 p.m., then you're like, what the fuck? Yeah. And it will also allow them to have like time that they're not being bothered to really get work done. So like if you come in late and you stay late, you have that afternoon to really get shit done. And if you come in early, you got that early morning before 9:30 to get that shit done. I would even say 10 to 3.
Yeah. That's solid. 10 to 3. Maybe even like 10 to 2:30 because people have to pick up kids at 3.
Yeah.
So it's like
maybe even just 1 hour during the day.
Dude, okay. If your core hours were 10 to 2, you got 4 hours of core hours. Like how much fucking meetings do you need?
That is true. And no one actually works for a full 8 hours every single fucking day. If you do that, then you need more staff or, your work-life balance is ass.
But like, let's be real. How many meetings do you truly need?
I know.
Right? Like it's not that many. If you're being honest for like real work, it's not that many.
If you have that many meetings, then something's inefficient. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. And if you had so much time after or before the meeting, could you imagine how much prep you can do for the meeting to make it an effective meeting?
That is true.
Right? So it's like we ended our meeting at 2. I have between 2 and 6 p.m., 4 hours to prepare for tomorrow's morning meet or tomorrow's 10 a.m. meeting or something like that, right? That's a lot of time. Or meeting ends at 2. You leave for work and you come in at like 6 in the morning. You got like 4 hours to prepare for the 10 a.m. meeting, right?
Or to do other work.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. I think that's solid. Like it's solid 10 to 2 core hours. Like honestly,
4-day work week.
Shit like that. Because I'll be honest, like if people have kids, if I was a leader and the guy's like, I gotta leave early to drive my like
Like,
to pick up my
fucking
kids. I'm
understand.
like, yeah, like your kids is probably way more important than what we're doing here.
I think it's also kind of fucked because everyone in the world that works a corporate job knows that, yeah, it's kind of hard balancing everything else that's outside of your life with your corporate work. If you have to go into the office and you have set hours like that, it's like, if everyone understands, why is this the fucking rule still?
Yeah. That's true.
You
That's
know?
true.
If everyone is struggling, why are we making this the rule?
I feel like it's like we should give the employees the leniency as in like, okay, you have to pick up your kid at 3, you can leave earlier, but they should also give us the leniency as like, okay, if you have to leave early, just come in earlier.
Yeah.
Right. It's like we're doing a fair trade right here. Right now, you're saying you got to leave early. That's fine. Just come in earlier. You can get your shit done earlier. Everything will be better.
But I feel like even on that, it shouldn't be time based.
Oh, yeah. It should be like
just performance and the work that you put in based.
Right.
Because if it takes you 8 hours every single time to do a project, then you're based more. Then you're going to spend time wasting your time and making sure you spend that full 8 hours. Versus if you could do it in 1 hour, you would do it in 1 hour.
That's true. I think the biggest thing for that is like there needs to be honesty on both ends. Whereas like I'm gonna let you work whatever hours you want, but you have to really let me know if you can't do it because you didn't put enough hours, or if you can't do it because of some roadblock.
Yeah.
Right. And then if that happens, it's like, okay, like fucking ship sailing, let's just keep moving, right?
Yeah.
Right. You tell me your roadblocks, I fix your roadblocks, and I let you work whatever hours you want, as long as every day you get the shit I need done.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure. I feel like it's possible.
That's how I like it. But like literally the hours, like counting hours literally breeds complacency. Like
I agree.
Like if I have like 5 tasks to do and I know it takes me like 2 hours to do the task, but I have to be there for 8 hours, but like fuck it, I'm gonna like wait 4 hours, I'm gonna do it for 2 hours, and then I'm gonna chill for the last whatever.
Yeah.
Because I have to be here for 8 hours.
100%. And because of corporate culture, you have to look like you're actually doing some type of shit for those 4 hours that you're dilly-dallying.
Yeah, so you're gonna like fucking take longer or do some bullshit stuff, and it's just gonna be crap. And it's like, if I truly enjoyed what I do, like maybe I will take 8 hours, and maybe that 4 hours I'm gonna advance on something else. But that's literally my enjoyment or my desire.
Fully agree.
But it sucks. At least some places. I mean, not even some places. Most corporate places are still going to the rules of, you know, come here at this time, leave at that time.
Very archaic, for sure.
I don't like it at all.
I don't like it either.
I mean, not all. Like my actual company that I work for, like Bancho, they don't. No one's like looking at what time I get there and what time I get home.
Oh yeah, me neither. Not my role, and not half of the. Okay, not even half. There's some roles that are hourly based.
Yeah.
At my company, and some that are salary based. The salary ones, they don't give a shit.
But it's weird too, because like my company we're salary, but we get split our salary into hours, so we still have to like log our hours in.
Oh yeah.
But no one gives a shit. Like you can log if the task takes 10 hours to do per the client, and it takes you 5 hours to do it, and you log in, 8 hours for that day, but you only work for like 5 hours and you dip. No one gives a shit because you still got the work done.
I'm sure.
Which is the nice part.
Corporate's dumb.
Parts of it is very dumb, I think. I mean, it is. I do agree. Some lazy fucks do have to get their shit together, and I feel like all these rules are because of that bad apples.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. If there weren't the bad apples, they'd be like, "No, you guys can do whatever the fuck you want. We trust everyone."
And because it's like an archaic method, I feel.
Yeah, that's true too. Like they're gonna be okay with this way of doing things until there's this one meeting that one person can't show up to, and that's because they had some fucked up hours, and be like, no, this doesn't work anymore. You fucked it up for everyone. You just had to show up between 10 and 2 and you just didn't.
Exactly.
It's fucked now.
Exactly.
And then the CEO is gonna be like pissed. He's like, nope, we're canceling all this
town
shit.
hall, no one else can do this anymore.
Yeah.
Blah blah. Yeah.
It's his life. Anyways, anything else you want to add? You have some other random shit you wrote down that you want to talk about?
No.
Oh, really? That was it?
Yeah.
The only other thing I had left was like summer's coming. I'm pretty excited. There's a lot of shit to do though.
Yeah, there is.
I feel a little complacent and lazy because I've been working on my car that much, but I'm giving myself the forgiveness because I've been tired because of
your jet
lag. And then the week before the trip, I was like, prepping for the trip and trying to get all my shit done at work. And then the week after coming back from the trip, I'm jet lagged, I'm tired, and I'm not feeling it. Yeah. I'm also like, just because there's so much shit to do in the summer that I know my projects are going to be
most fun, right?
Yeah, but it's going to be like hard to get it done because there's like during winter, there's nothing to do.
That's true.
Kind of like there's less things to do on the weekends.
That's true.
So then I had more time to do it. But now it's like events every fucking week.
Oh, for sure. When I look at my calendar, I'm like, I'm starting to get stressed.
Yeah. Yeah. With all these like, random events, get-togethers, shit like that. It becomes quite a load.
Yeah. I don't know how before I kept myself so busy and I felt okay with it, because now that I feel like I've maintained my schedule to a point where I'm not busy to that degree with at least social things all the time.
Yeah.
Now that there's so many things happening on weekends and like here and there, I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah. Happens when you're old as fuck.
Yep.
At least mentally.
Old age.
It sucks. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully we'll get all these podcasts out on time, and we'll do a couple more doubles and extra stuff because I think we're on leave. Both of us are on leave on one of the weeks coming up, and then Viv's on leave on one of the other weeks coming up.
Mm-hmm.
I think this happens every summer. We just get really fucking busy, and we try to do a bunch of podcasts, and then we just skip a bunch of weeks.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll come up with some cool ideas. If not, we'll be ranting the most of the time, but we'll see. We'll see what guests we can get to. I know we've been getting super lazy on getting guests.
I mean, it feels like we locked down one guest for next week.
Did we? Oh yeah, I think we did.
Yeah.
I hope. But yeah, we'll see. Other than that, I mean, I'd like to get other people too.
Yeah.
But we've been super lazy about that.
That's true.
But whatever. Fuck it. Yeah. All right. Cool. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.